welcome back, you filthy animals. Glad you made it. It's another social production. That's right. Thank you for joining me once again. It is Wednesday, April the 8th, 2026. Thank you for joining me. If you're tuning in from Canada, mi familias, Wagwan, further down south in the United States of Americas, all 50 states, beautiful states, further down south, Mexico, even further south, South America, jumping over to Africa, Zimbabwe, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Nairobi, over there in Europe. I'm talking Italy, I'm talking Spain, I'm talking the Scandinavian folk, over there in Armenia, Uzbekistan, in Asia, China, over there in the Koreas. Hopping over to the islands, man, in Cuba, in Jamaica, Wagwan, to me, Jamaicans, over there in Finland, back to Europe, all around the world, in Australia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, of course, wherever you're tuning in from, whether you are underwater, whether you're on a boat, whether you are dwelling in a cave, whether you are residing in the who knows, in the ditches, you're covering yourself with some dirt, the weather's nice, why not? Wherever you're tuning, or maybe you're in space, maybe you're in motherfucking space and you're about to fucking come back to Earth. Well, we'll get to that. Nonetheless, wherever you are, thank you for joining me. If it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. If you've been with me from the beginning, thank you. Let us party, because it is Wednesday, once again, brought to you by caffeinated products. Let me just get a sip of this bad boy right here. I have been jonesing for this shit. I've been waiting. I was made for this shit. I was ready. Oh man, I was so excited. I was titillated. I was getting my nips sucked by a vacuum cleaner. That's how excited I was. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, what am I even talking about without losing track? Behind enemy lines. I've been waiting to drop this line for some time. It's one of those, I don't know if you guys are like this, I don't know if you gals are like this, but there's certain lines that just resonate with you and you just want to say it out loud and you just want to be a part of it. And when it comes down, you never know. You never know when they open up the books and your name pops the fuck up to show up for the team, for the gang. And it happened over the past few days. Ladies and gentlemen, what am I talking about? Behind enemy lines. If you don't know by now, well, where have you been? But you must know that we had because we're running operations. Globally speaking, and I don't want to, today's not focused entirely on it. And again, if you've been with me from the get-go, you know we touch base on everything, but I just want to focus our attention on a search and rescue mission, on a beautiful behind enemy lines. Join me tonight as we, how do I even say, I've been waiting for today. I'm so excited to share this with you. Behind enemy lines, brought to you today. We're going deep behind enemy lines. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the two, I believe there were a couple of jets that were shot down behind enemy lines, and then we had to get our guys. We got one of them earlier, but then there was another one who was missing, and that's where we had to go, behind enemy lines. What was I doing? I'm glad you asked. Thank you for asking. Over the past few days, of course, your boy's ready. Your boy's sitting on the, just fucking ready to pounce when the opportunity comes. Of course, I was busy, and this was, I don't want to make it all about me. I don't want this to be like, because it's not. It's about us as a team. It's about us as a unit working together. I was busy. I was minding my own business. Ready. Mind my own business, but fucking ready for shit to pop off and for your boy to just be like, let's get fucking booted and suited and let's do this. What was I doing? I was watching a video, just harmless, educational video on the lines. I was on the YouTube, so I'm not gonna lie to you. You caught me red-handed because I got ketchup on my hands. You got me red-handed. There was a woman who just unleashed a whole lot of her period blood on my hands. You caught me red-handed. I like to work with red dye. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that you caught me red-handed. I was watching an educational video, mind my own business. It was about African lions. I think at least it was an African, let's just say it was about African lions. I think it was a BBC short little clip. Cats in the wild, 24/7 big cats in nature being documented by researchers and scientists alike. They were looking at this herd, this pride of lions who were circling this one buffalo, one tiny little buffalo, one medium size, one large size, one average size buffalo in the wild, in the Sahara, in the bush. because that's what the lion does. The lion gets hungry. The pride needs to eat. And they circled and they squared the circle, and then they started doing triangle patterns, and then they made like, you know, they made a, you know, makeshift hexagon or an octagon. Then the bell rang, and then there was a UFC referee in there. Ding ding, put him in a chokehold. Next thing you know, they're circling this one buffalo one by one. They started pouncing. The mother lion, the lioness, mama lion, Malayan, and the male lion too. Male lions were, I actually didn't see, I wasn't paying that close of an attention. The footage is a little bit grainy. It's hard to tell if there were any male lions or not, but nonetheless, let's just, for the sake of the story, because it is titillating, there was a whole bunch of male lions with giant male lion cocks pouncing on this poor bastard, this little buffalo, this medium to large, extra large sized buffalo. And the children were there the cubs were there to learning their first hand or first attempt at going out there together and doing a little bit of a hunting so that we can get some grub. So mama lion was pouncing on the buffalo. Male lions were yakking off in the corner. Lion cubs pouncing, grabbing the jugular. Next thing you know, you're watching this and I'm like, oh man, well, this is circle of life. Here it goes. It's about to, you know, it's din time. Oh, do we have reservations? Because it's a table for two, but we got company. Make that 20 hungry bunches here, and we're about to pounce and eat a whole buffalo together as a family. So they did that. It's about to go down. This fucking buffalo's getting just, you know, fat, you know, just, canines, just going in his jugulars. But there was a lion biting his ass. There was one pulling on his tail, and you're like, well, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is it for this poor bastard. Next thing you know, when the count was down, is that a saying? When the count started to go down, 10, 9, and you know numbers. I'm not gonna start counting all the way. You want me to start counting all the way from 10 to fucking 0, dog? You know the numbers. I'm not gonna. Do you know what comes after 8? I'm not gonna, you know numbers, dog. We all know numbers. We're all good at math equally. The point is 3, 2, and you're like, man, this is it. But next thing you know, a whole bunch of backup starts to come in, and that's when the buffalo herd's like, oh, you got one of our boys? Not today. And they start coming in, just fucking, you know, shoving and pushing the lions off this poor little bastard. Next thing you know, he's up on his feetsies, shaking off all the other lions. The male lions stopped yakking off in the corner and just scurried away. And next thing you know, the poor bastard was saved last minute. And it was just like, just when you thought it was over and done with, there goes nature, another one, hook, left, right, jab. Search and rescue mission. I'm watching this. I'm already, my mind's, again, innocently watching this little nature show, learning about nature, you know, learning about the circle of life, learning about eating patterns of animals in the wild. And I get this notification. I'm like, oh no. And what do I mean that I didn't personally get the notification, but I noticed, like many of you noticed, that a couple of our jets have been shot down. I'm like, this might call for a search and rescue mission behind enemy lines. And again, I just finished watching something very animalistic, something very primal that hit a chord in me. And I'm like, doggy, this is us, the buffalo versus the lions. And I do wish it was flipped around so that we were the lions, because, like, you know, fucking lions. But also buffaloes are like fucking, you know, buffalo rules too. So nonetheless, but I'm like, this time we're the buffalo and we're going behind enemy lines. And I started to get to work. So what I'm like, let's do this together. It's search and rescue mission. What happened? Two of our jets got shot down. Pilots are gone. I'm like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go in there and we're gonna plan it. And you know, people, I'm not gonna say that I'm the sole, you know, counselor on issues like this. I'm not gonna, there's many people involved, many people involved, all right? I'm not gonna be like, all right, I'm the fucking, you know, some people, you know, if others wanna be like, oh, okay, you know, rescue mission, mastermind, who do we call? Rob Sadri, obviously, besides, you know, outside of the comedy world and podcasting and, you know, being a giant global sensation, what else does he do? Fucking rescue missions. puts on master classes on search and rescue missions nonetheless, but that's just his, that's just part of his fucking philanthropy that he does. People say that, I don't say it, people do. And I'm like, please, it's probably plenty more that I do too, but like, whatever, doesn't matter. The point is, I was ready, I'm like, we gotta go there and get this guy. But first, I sent a message out. I'm like, where are you? We're communicating, where are you? Get a hold of this, we got a hold of this beautiful pilot. I tell him to make like the surroundings, take in your surrounding. When you get shot down, this is, take notes right here. Please take some notes if you're in a plane, or it doesn't matter if you're in a car and you're behind enemy lines and somehow you're stranded and you need to be, waiting to get searched and rescued. You need to start blending with your surroundings. So I'm already sending messages out. I'm like, look around, what do you see? Make yourself look like the surroundings. So we had this pilot fucking morph into the surroundings. The surroundings, the topography, mountainous region. So I'm like, turn into a mountain doggy. This guy turned into a pile of rocks. And I'm like, start climbing. Start climbing, and what else do you see? And we're getting communication back. He's like, I see mountain goat. I'm like, make yourself look like a mountain goat. Next thing you know, our pilot, all right, fucking from the US Air Force, starts making himself look like a fucking goat. I'm talking hooves, I'm talking noises, I'm talking eating grass and climbing up the mountainous region, so to make it more difficult for dirty bastard terrorists to get a hold of him while we're doing our part in the search and rescue. Next thing you know, fucking planes are going in. Search and rescue, we are sending distractions. I'm out here fucking making podcasts. I'm also simultaneously in two places at the same time. Don't ask me how we do this shit. We just do this shit when the unit calls for help. I'm out there fucking podcasting, dog. Cause I know, I'm like, the terrorists like to fucking laugh too, dog. So I'm out there podcasting, trying to fucking, razzle dazzle these motherfuckers, get their attention and their focus away from the down pilot, which by the way is not an easy task, because I heard something. Meanwhile, the crew's doing this shit. Some motherfucking leaker out there, some leaky fuck, all right? Some leaky motherfucker that doesn't believe in tampons, that likes to free bleed, some leaker who is just drooling and foaming from the mouth without even the common courtesy to, wear a bib. This leaky motherfucker, this drooling son of a bitch who snoozes, catches disease, open mouth, drools out the sides of his mouth. Why, you ask? Because he's a leaker, all right? He leaked some information, which was that there was a second pilot notifying the enemy of our intent to go in there and do search and rescue. So we're all dealing with all this shit, right? I'm doing my part. And the rest of the Army and the Air Force and the CIA's involved, we're doing this shit. And next thing you know, you got a leaker. It's like having a leaky bum. And that's what you are. You're a leaky bum, you son of a bitch. Or you're gonna be dealt with accordingly. And by that, I mean, I don't know what we're gonna do to you, but didn't stop us from doing the search and rescue. So we get in there, and by we, I mean personally, it was just maybe me. I'm not saying this, others are allegedly saying this, that I grab a hold of a couple of planes. As I'm driving both planes at the same time, I start doing figure eights in the air, figure eights to distract the enemy behind enemy lines. Another plane, meanwhile, I'm doing the figure eight, another plane goes in there, drops in, catches this motherfucker. We do the extraction, search and rescue accomplished from behind enemy lines, no shots fired. Okay, maybe there were a few shots fired. I'm not gonna get into the deeds, dog. This is fucking confidential. This is, credentialed. This is certified, legit. This is, right there. This type of information cannot be, that's the difference between us and so-called news networks who go out there and babble and just fucking, leak information. So all in all, that is to say that I like to say we got him back. He's safe and sound. And yes, you're like, how did he get out of the airplane? He ejected out of the airplane. That's how he managed to get himself to a safe zone so we can extract him. A lot of people like to take this time and say, Rob, shouldn't you get a medal for everything that you just did over the past few days? And no, friends, family, dearly beloved, this isn't about me. It's about us. This is bigger than me. I don't want no medals. I don't want no Yeah, is it difficult to, travel at, Mach 6? Fucking, yeah, it is. Is it difficult to, do a podcast, make the comedy, get in there and do search and rescue missions, raise awareness about animals' health and welfare? Is it, I ask myself this, but then I think about the children, the poor, dirty children running around somewhere in the world where they don't have access to shoes, socks, and they're best friends with dirty flies and dung beetles. And I think about those children. I'm like, I got a way better life than these fucking losers. So I don't let that get to me. I push all that aside and I'm like, let me just do my thing. I don't care for medals, all right? I'm not a big, iron ore guy. You know what I'm talking about. I like, if you want to cash deposit, there's always patreon.com/RobSadry, but we ain't doing this for the fucking monies, are we? I don't think so. From behind enemy lines, reporting, Rob Sadri. Now, I do want to say can we do this one more time in terms of, because I wasn't prepared. This was like a short notice, like a last minute, can you come in and help? I like to get in there and just for the sake of dropping the lines, because I like dropping lines. From behind enemy lines. This is in the morning. Do we come in? What's better sounding? Leave a comment. What would you like to hear from behind enemy lines in the morning? Join us today in the morning from behind enemy lines. Why does his voice get raspier when he says behind enemy lines? No one knows. But the fucking ratings talk and speak for themselves, and that's kind of fucking creepy, isn't it? Because are the ratings on some kind of like hallucinogenic, are they tripping on acid? What are these ratings? Why are these ratings melting? Jesus Christ. From behind enemy lines. Join us today in the afternoon. It is after night. Nighttime sounds better. Join me tonight from behind enemy lines. How about just regular voice? From behind enemy lines. Join me tonight from behind enemy lines. Fine. Join me tonight. This one sounds way from behind enemy lines. And let me tell you something. Looking at the enemy from behind, we got him where we're going him. We're right behind them. Like we're behind, they're in front, bent over. And it's low-key getting kind of homoerotic. But at this point, it's better to be behind enemy lines. Join me tonight at midnight. Midnight sounds way better, dog. I think we just found the best timing for going behind enemy lines. Midnight. Join me tonight at midnight behind enemy lines. We're here just past midnight behind enemy lines. It is 2:30. What's the best? I'm trying to figure, because we deliver the best. We don't fucking bargain. This isn't some fucking guy just showing up and, we believe in the best of the best. What time? I want to know. Leave a comment. Is it I feel I'm getting an innate primal feeling that's just hitting me in the gut right now. It's saying 2:37 in the AM. Join me tonight at 2:37 AM behind enemy lines. It's 2:37. That's what I feel in my tum-tum. But you leave a comment. Because we fucking deliver the best here. And that's what we did. And there's no amount of money, there's no amount of manpower. We will fucking do everything for our boys and girls out there. Because that's what we are. We're a family. Others might not understand the concept of family because they're probably orphans. They don't have families. Nobody loves them. They're the unwanted, undesirable ones. They don't get family, dog. Like you and I get family. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, we're here. What am I even talking about? But so that was my weekend. That was the past few days over there. I don't know what you guys did, but again, team effort. We all did it together. Now this one is it's a disgusting act of, I don't know where we're going in society. I don't know what's happening. Things are maybe moving a little bit too fast. Is it the advent of technology? Is it our morals and ethics and laws that are not keeping up? What is going on? It's constantly this, that, and the other. And I just heard this one. I'm like, this has gone too far. Now, you got to draw the line somewhere. Behind enemy lines is where I like to draw the line. Join me tonight at 3:21 AM behind enemy lines. You got to draw that line somewhere. Nonetheless, the point is that an Indian midget, in India by the name of Ganesh, I forget his last name, so let's just focus on his first name and the fact that he's a midget, 3 feet tall, 3 feet sees. That's a 3 foot midget. Normally, I've got no beef with any communities or any individuals, but this one got to me because I'm like, what is going on? Apparently, he went to court. He's a young man in his early 20s, mid 20s. He went to court. He's a 3 feet tall midget. went to court because he wanted to become a doctor. They were like, you're a midget, quit with your horseplay, quit with your, a midget trickery and voodoo, you fucking little dwarf, quit it. And there's no way you're going to become a doctor because doctors need to be full grown, humans. You can't be a midget doctor. But he went in there relentless, unwilling to, just understand the circumstances and his disabilities and the fact that nobody wants a midget doctor. But he went in there and he argued, he eventually battled the courts, he won in the courts, so they allowed him to pursue his doctorates, and now he's a practicing doctor in India. And this makes me wanna vomit, makes me wanna, we're talking about subhumans here. Okay, we're talking about, look, this is just between us. They can't hear us, they can't see us, because this is like, they would just simply place your TV and or phone just a little bit higher than you normally would, and they wouldn't be able to hear or see us because they're midgets. And this one's going out there, the audacity, going out there to fight the courts, the judicial system, all right? Where law-abiding citizens of regular, normal-sized, that's what the judicial system's meant for. Regular-sized humans. But this little midget gets in there, fights with the judicial system. They lose the case. He goes out there, gets his doctorates, and starts fucking practicing, all right? And it's just, I don't know how I feel about it. We let them become doctors today. What else are we gonna do next? What else are we gonna have next? What are we gonna have, gay doctors too? What are we gonna have, ethnic minorities become doctors too? What are we gonna have, the people showing up on TV, all sorts of people showing up on TV? What kind of slippery slope are we on that we're just gonna let this what if my ailment is, waist up, doggy? What if my ailment is like somewhere in the neck to head area, fucking, maybe your boy happens to be doing ops and he has some downtime. In Southeast Asia. Maybe your boy decides to go to a club of sorts. Maybe it's fucking dark in there. Maybe there's a bunch of fog machines. Maybe there's music that your boy doesn't understand, but nonetheless, the people are excited. Maybe your boy starts making out with somebody. Maybe one thing leads to another, and your boy is at somebody's little makeshift home in Southeast Asia, and a few days later, your boy fucking wakes up with a little bump above his lip. What is your boy to do? Go seek a 3 feet tall midget doctor who won't even be able to see because I'm standing up? The audacity of this man, if we can even call him that at this point. I'm disgusted, I'm alarmed, I'm simply one man, appealing not to your hearts, but to your logic upstairs. We need to abolish this, we need to stop this heinous act of letting midgets think that they can do more with their lives, or when there's plenty of able-bodied, full-size adults waiting in line, patiently doing their thing, in order to get by. Next thing is he fights the judicial system, and it's difficult to fight a midget because you're fucking, all right, we're the judicial system, where are you at? Where are you? And he's below. I'm looking at you because we're just like regular adults, but the midget is fucking working below the belt, hitting you in the metaphorical, allegorical nads right there, the nads of the judicial system. Next thing you know, somebody's walking around with blue balls, not having any idea of what just went down, signing papers and officially giving permission to a midget to become a doctor. I say ban it now. We don't need more of them. Let us end it together. All right. Ableists of the world, it is time to unite. We move in silence. We move in the shadows and the dark. Bring flashlights, some candles, scented or just non-scented bring some neon, neon little, neon lights, some, bring some, if you got night vision goggles, bring those, because we could easily move the schedule in terms of when we do move. We could definitely move in the daytime, but then something to be said about flashlights, candles, X-ray vision goggles, night vision goggles. It's just something about that that gets us going. But nonetheless, the scheduling is flexible. The point is that we should nip this in the bud, all right? End it with me. Again, you heard it here first. Midget doctor. And again, my innards are feeling upset as I mouth the words midget doctor. What else are we gonna have next? Good God. I believe this is something that I heard and I don't know how to deal with it, so we're going to deal with it together. In Germany, the government came in and just said that German men have to ask permission from the army if they are to leave the country for longer than 3 months because of potential threats that might or might not come from Russia. Who knows? Allegedly, that's what it's about. I heard this and I'm like, German men asking for permission? Nay, my German men, my beautiful German men. This is what we're gonna do together. And again, because you're like, oh, this is in Germany. Who cares about Germany? I care about Germany. You probably care about Germany. Tons of people might not care, but we care. All right, because if it's in Germany one day, it might be somewhere else the next day. And that somewhere else might still not be where you are today, but the following day or week could be somewhere else. And that place too is probably not going to be where you are. But this fucking, merry-go-round of where it could be next will eventually, it's fucking duck. You might be Goose one day. You might be Goose. So it's just, it's fun to laugh at who's the goose now. But one day, it's just the odds of, ducks and gooses. Eventually somebody will be a goose or geese or gooses. There's plenty to go around. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, German men asking for, let's not lose focus, please. Excuse me. May I, if I may? Thank you. German men having to ask permission. German men used to be the pinnacle of men at one point. And over the past few years, whether it's politics, whether it's just, I don't know, maybe it's stuff they're putting in the water, the environment, who knows? Maybe it is, I don't know. It's a little bit alarming. This is what you're going to do, German men. This is what you're going to do. They're going to tell you to ask for permission. You say, no, we are not going to ask for permission, yeah? Because that is not, we are not a bunch of cocks, yeah? You want us to ask for the permission to leave the country? We are not going to ask for the permission to leave the country. We are not also going to ask permission to put on our pantaloons. The German men will not ask permission because they are not cocks. We are gonna do what we want because we are German men. We're gonna eat the sausage. We're gonna eat the German sausage. We're gonna drink the German beer. And we're gonna have a good time. And we're gonna dance. And we're gonna sing. And everybody's gonna be happy. And that's the way it should be, all right? Because German men having to ask for permission is a cuck move. It's a cuck move. You ask permission to, leave the country now. Next thing you know, you're gonna have to ask permission. Oh, is it? Excuse me. May I take a? Is it? Can I go to the bathroom now? What are we reducing men to school children? I'm gonna ask permission to go to the bathroom. Can I get what's next? I'm thirsty. Can I go get a drink? I'm a German man. I need to ask permission to go get a little thing. I need to get the ring, but could I ask permission to get the ring? It's you don't need to ask permission to get the ring, friend. You're a grown-ass man. Nobody tells you what to do. Nobody should tell you what to do. Unless you're into being submitted, unless you're into, which we've briefly touched upon in a few, I can't remember, a few weeks ago on a BDSM episode. The entire episode was not about BDSM, but we might have touched on the topic for a few minutes, of course. And unless you're into submission, then that's not a lot of people. That's like a few people that are into submission. All right, the majority of people like having autonomy, and that's disturbing. It's disgusting. Next thing you know, you're gonna have to ask permission. Is it okay if I go get a little bite to eat? Yeah, my viewer. Is it okay if I ask the permission to go eat? Yeah. Is it okay if I listen to the music that makes me happy? Yeah. Is it okay now or no? This is a slippery slope. Asking permission. is it okay that I, is it okay I wear latex and leather now and engage in some sort of sexual activities with the other group members of the sex group? Is it okay to ask permission to do activities in your own sex group? Friends, family members, dearly beloved, we're gathered once again here, taking a stance against standing sometimes that fucking allows for good blood flow. All right, and that's what we're here. So to the German men, we're here with you. Glad you made it is here with you. The people are with you. Don't ask permission because it's cuck, it's gay, and not to say that it's unless like you like gay, I'm here for it. But like it's involuntary gay. That's the kind of gay it is, and we don't like that. Voluntary gay, fucking all day. Involuntary gay activities like asking for permission. I don't think so. German army. This one is a little bit concerning given the amount of money we've spent on it. I have heard that they're coming back because I think it was like, it was the mission with the Artemis mission. It was supposed to be a week or 10 days or whatever. They went, but while they're on their way to the moon, I read an article, I read a headline. It says, Artemis 2 crew, the Artemis 2 crew, the Artemis 2 mission, the Artemis 2 crew members are edging closer to the far side of the moon. And that's what it said. This is verbatim, actually. Sometimes we go off script, sometimes where this is verbatim. The Artemis 2 crew edges closer to the far side of the moon. And I'm excited about going to the moon. I'm excited about doing, and yeah. Van Allen belts, Van Allen suspenders, Van Allen, diet pills, whatever, dog. It's a new day. Different times were different, but perhaps this time it'll be different. It'll be different. We're going there. We've gone there to the far side. We're gone to the far side of the moon. Gonna do a recon, come back. Eventually, we're gonna land on the moon. All right, I'm here for it. First time, a little sus. This time, I'm Mr. Half. My glass is always filled with at least 50% jizz. So you know me. Outlook, positivity. Inside, also positivity. Outside, also fucking positive, but like low key. Also, doesn't matter. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that that's what the article said. That the Artemis 2 crew is edging closer to the moon's far side. And I know you got a lot of time. All right, I know you got a lot of experiments to do. Artemis crew, 3 men, one woman, I believe. One of them was one of the fellows up there is Canadian, so shout out. But apparently, as soon as they got closer to the backs to the far side of the moon, they start edging. And if you're not familiar with edging, let me educate you for a second, because after all, this is outside of comedy, which is the, I'd say 99% of this is all jokes and for funsies. 1%, every now and again, accidentally, we might do something educational. This is that 1%. Edging, for those of you who don't know, is just basically getting yourself aroused, but not climaxing, all right? So you are aroused. This might mean that you're hard and stroking away, or you're a woman and your clit is, fucking, it's throbbing. You got that throbbing clit and you're just flicking it. You're fucking flicking that clit, but you're not flicking to the point where it's squirt city. You're just flicking for the love of the game. You're flicking away on that G-spot. You're getting there, hitting all the notes. You're getting there, playing the little violin inside your ovaries. You know what I'm talking about. So these guys, again, some might even say I'm an edger. Some might even say that on the street. Some might even say, fucking edger, dog. And I'm not even gonna disagree with that. I'm not even gonna, whatever it is, what it is. Fucking edging. Live on the edge of life. Edge for life. But these guys, we've spent so much time. We don't have time for you to. We've spent a lot of time and money. We don't have time for you to edge closer to the far side of the moon. Now, it does technically make sense that they did this to the far side of the moon, because we've seen the front of the front of the moon. It's kind of flat. It doesn't do much, but I don't know what's going on the far side. The far side of the moon might be does the far side of the moon have like double cheeks? Does it resemble an ass? Which everybody loves an ass. So maybe the crew got to the far side of the moon. The far side of the moon is double cheeked up. And next thing you know, these three men and that one woman on the crew, they start fucking, they start yerking it off and flicking their bean and fucking playing with their tits. And they're just edging. They're not even coming. They're not coming. They're not going. They're edging. And for a few minutes, I think we lost contact. So the whole video just went fucking, nothing. As soon as they got to the far side, we hear they're edging. Video gets interrupted. We lose connection. And that's all we hear, dude. And they went to the far side of the moon. Stroke City. Fucking blazing. Spitting on it. A little bit of that right there. Glazing and stroking, but not even ejacking. And I don't know if this was part of the plan. I wasn't informed, but I just like to, I want to get our money's worth with these missions. All I'm saying is, I hope that you gained whatever knowledge from this experiment that involved you guys and the one lady to go up there and fucking edge to the far side of the moon, while the rest of us are fucking edging with gravity here, dog. This is, you don't know what it's like to edge with gravity, because it's probably much easier to edge in space than it is to edge here. But well, I'm looking forward to the results that will come out of this edging expedition, if we want to call it that. These moon gooners, essentially that's what they are. They went to the moon, not on it but around it, and they gooned to the moon, dude. That's what these goon mooners are. I hope there's more to come out of this. To be honest with you, I'm a little bit deflated at this point, but I hope that there's probably more to come. Literally, figuratively speaking, there's probably more to come. I suppose they were getting ready so that next time they'll just fucking bust next, because you got to go there, do the recon, edge, not come. Next time it's all come. It's just jizz and female eggs released into the ether. That is the vacuum that we live in, aka space. So that's a little bit of Artemis and NASA and the moon mission. I think they're coming back. They're on the way back, I think. Hells yeah, dude. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. We'll see what happens with these jizz films of NASA, if they ever release it. There's a new trend. It's a new trend, apparently. I'm not a big trend guy myself. I don't follow trends. I don't believe in trends. I just do what I does. And if it's a thing that I does that I enjoys, then that's the thing that I does and I enjoys. I don't follow the trends, because trends could be, trends could be fun. I'm not against trends, but I'm not fully on board with trends either. A new trend is apparently popping off like many other trends pop off, and this one is barefoot hiking. Ladies and gentlemen, barefoot hiking is apparently a thing. More and more people are engaging in barefoot hiking, and I'd like to just take this minute and discuss it with you. What is barefoot hiking? I don't know, to be honest with you. At first I heard this and I said to myself, barefoot hiking, this is probably probably start off in California, despite the fact that I love California. This sounds a little bit one of those one of those woo-woo fucking, dream catcher, incense burning, let's go barefoot hiking, drink your green milkshake, whatever that grass infused milkshake is. Drink this milkshake, it's good for you. Is it? Its color is green. I don't think so. I don't think I'm gonna ingest liquid green and say, this makes sense. Point is that I think it probably, I'd say, I'm not sure if it started out of California. A lot of good things do, but I'm not sure about this one. But nonetheless, I hear this. I'm like, but what is barefoot hiking? And I don't even categorize myself as a hiker. I do like to go on daily walks and get my steps in and exercise. Nothing too cray-cray, but I'd say I'm an avid avid walker here. But I hear about this barefoot walking and I'm just like, or barefoot hiking. I'm like, first of all, there are probably way more humans than bears. And hypothetically speaking, again, this is one of those like, you gotta try this thing, and like it feels a little bit too rich for my taste. And I'm not against anything. I'm a big time capitalist, all right? But I just do the simple math. I've looked around, I've lived long enough to look around and be able to just eyeball it and say that there are not enough bears for us to hunt down, eventually I suppose kill, or at least subdue them for a limited amount of time while we remove their legs, their feet. And then next thing you know, we gotta go to a whole medical facility ourselves, get strapped down, all right, have our feet amputated somehow, attach the bare foot where our feet used to be, essentially to our ankles, and then go on these barefoot hikes. It reminds me of one of those like rich endeavors when a lot of people got like, a ton of money and they're like, what are we gonna do? Let's make a submersible and go find the Titanic, and then they die. This seems like that to me. It seems like a little bit much, friend. All right, to have to kill all these bears, or even if you don't kill the bears, even if you just fucking trank them for a few hours, remove their feet and attach their feet where your feet used to. What are these poor bears gonna do in nature now that they don't have any feet? What are we gonna do? Equip all the bears with bionic bear feet? What's the, why not forget, if you're gonna do that, why not just remove your feet, give yourself bionic bare feet if you so much desire to go out there and experience what it's like to hike with bare feet, So I hear this and I'm like, this is not, I mean, again, a small group of individuals might be able to do this, but this is not something, this is not a Shark Tank idea. This is not something that we can fucking level up and then scale it up at mass. It's just not gonna work. There's like 8 billion of us. If this actually becomes a thing, next thing you know, it's on all the podcasts. Everybody's getting sponsored by barefoot products and get your barefoot from us. This podcast is brought to you by Barefoots from Us. Get your bare feet today. Remove your own regular feet within 3 hours and attach bare feet to your foot and walk on bare feet. Barefoot walking, barefoot hikers. Yeah, people who've never even tried barefoot hiking would come up and just be like, I'm a total barefoot hiker guy. Another product, but I'm not too happy about this. I think we gotta shut it down. Of course, I could totally be mistaken about this. Normally I'm good about these things. Normally I follow my gut instincts and it just leads me to water. And then there's not much I can do with that because it's just like water. I've got this innate ability to find water. Does me no good really, unless I wish I had some sort of ability to find or create money. I don't. I just get led to water, it is what it is. I mean, it'll come in handy if I ever get deserted behind enemy lines. I'll find water. But other than that, really, it's like a neat little party trick. I can easily I can walk into any building and be like, tap water is right there in that room that resembles a kitchen. What is this? I can tell you I can tell you how many faucets any household or dwelling has by immediately. As the first 3 seconds that I step foot inside your dwelling, I can tell you how many faucets you got. Walk at the beach. Where's the water? Right there. I'm a first person. I'm like, where's the water? Right there. Innate ability to detect water, whatever. We don't question the gifts that Yahweh or Jah blesses us with. We just take it for what it is and say, hopefully one day we can monetize this. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, that suppose I'm wrong. Suppose this whole barefoot story is not it doesn't involve animalia. Suppose that it's just you removing your shoes and walking, I guess, with a naked, exposed foot. It could also be that. I didn't read the article. And to that I say, there's pros and cons to everything. You could, of course, you go to the sand, you're like, barefoot walking, great, this is fantastic. But what if you're making it all, every day, each and every day? You're like, oh, I'm just going to go to the grocery store next door. I'm just going to go to the grocery store barefoot walking, hiking, no big deal. Next thing you know, shards of glass are going into your feet. All right, and this glass was last night. You know where that glass came from? A crackhead was smoking crack, and he had AIDS, and he smoked his crack, and he broke that crack pipe, and he cut himself, and he got AIDS blood on that piece of glass, and now you walked all over that, crackhead's broken pipe glass that's infused with AIDS blood, and now you have AIDS blood in your system because you decided to go barefoot hiking. So you could die from AIDS. You could die from AIDS. You could walk in anywhere and you're like, oh, this is nature. I'm gonna go in the woods and take off my shoes and walk barefoot. And it could go fine for like 3 months. You could do this and no big deal. And next thing you know, one day a family of hyenas surround you and start chasing you. And next thing you know, you're running. And next thing you know, what do? You landed, your foot landed on a piece of glass, a broken piece of glass. There was a homeless man in the woods who was also escaping the gang of hyenas. He happened to have AIDS. He broke his crack pipe and cut himself, and he bled all over that crack pipe. And while he's escaping the hyenas, you're escaping the same group of hyenas, you step onto that broken crack pipe, again, peppered with AIDS blood from a crackhead, and now you have AIDS blood in your system. And that's fucked up, man. You could have avoided that. You could have avoided by wearing shoes. There's plenty of families not even phased by the hyenas. They're just fucking flaunting their feet. They're on their back on the ground in the woods. They're on their back, exposing their anus and their shoes because at any second they could just get up and run and not trip over some broken crackhead pipe, drizzled with AIDS blood. That could be you, Of course, there's pros to everything. Sure, you could walk for days and months and years, and touching your feet to the ground might give you some connection to Mother Earth or Father Earth or whatever. And you might start to develop muscles where you normally wouldn't because your shoes are like industrial, man. And you gotta touch grass, man. And next thing you know, you're getting stronger, and next thing you know, 3 years has gone by and no big deal, but you one day just go merging from between the grasslands to like a beach area, and there's a crackhead who happened to have AIDS, and he's smoking crack, and he drops his crack pipe and he bleeds all over the crack pipe, and he's got AIDS, and then you step over that crack pipe, and it's just a little bit of AIDS blood that goes into your system, but low key, it doesn't bother you that much. It's apparently all the time you spend walking barefoot, it's increased your immune system, and your immune system can fight off the little bit of AIDS blood that's, because you're mostly like 99.99% regular, clean human blood. Now you got a little scratch on the bottom of your foot, and it's like a little bit of AIDS blood. Your immune system might be able to fight that off, and you're not impacted by this crackhead's blood infused broken crack pipe. So it could go in any shape or form, in any way, really. It's up to you, but I personally wouldn't risk it, despite the fact that I do many risky things like search and rescue missions. But this one I don't recommend. But you do you, all right? We're not here to fucking tell you what to do, or you're not here to tell me what to do. You do you. If you want to walk on shards of glass, get AIDS. Kanye West, I believe he's in the news. Ye's been in the news. Actually, before we get to Ye, I do want to, because let me not get ahead of myself. Let me not get ahead of myself. Let me not get ahead of myself. I don't want to get head from myself, because that's like sucking your own dick, and it's not possible, despite my best attempts during a time in my life where I was younger and more flexible, because you thought it'd be worthwhile to pursue. But I don't want to get ahead from myself. I've given it some thought. It's just too much. It's too much work. It's not worth it. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that we live in a world where there's plenty of good things, but then but then of course sometimes there's corruption that seeps into even the most beautiful, innocent endeavors out there. And one of these endeavors, one of these beautiful, innocent tasks used to be that you fork up some money and you get your friends and family members together. You might be like, let's go climb Mount Everest, dude. And you're gonna pay some, you go there, you're gonna pay a Sherpa or a tour guide. You're gonna take the flight there, get there, meet the Sherpa, put your mountain gear on, start climbing, and you go, to the tip of the mountain, and you take a couple of photos, and you drop some garbage and slide down, and you walk over some dead bodies, and then that's a picture now you have framed in your office, and you point to it every now and again. When people ask, "Is that Mount Everest?" You're like, "Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is." What is that? What are you leaning on? You're like, "That's a dead body. I'm leaning over a dead body for this photo. It's a dead body. We don't know whose it is, but it makes for a great conversation starter, isn't it? Look at that dead body I'm on Mount Everest. It's a bargain too, only like 20 G's. I don't know how much it costs to go there for the expedition, but like 20 G's, you get to step over a dead body and drop some garbage on Mount Everest. It's pretty cool, you should do it. The point is, they used to do that. This was the 90s, the 80s, even probably prior to that, and then the 2000s, the 2010s, up until now, recently. Until now was a thing that people did. But now, apparently the game has changed. So there's fraud everywhere, ladies and gentlemen, and you can no longer apparently just trust your Sherpa. I've been hearing this, that there's a dirty Sherpa / helicopter pilot / medical facility / maybe doctors and nurses who are involved in an insurance fraud scheme that's apparently 20 million, 20 big large ones. So what you do is apparently you go there, you go to Nepal if I'm not mistaken. And you're like, let me get a Sherpa. Let me get a Sherpa and do the climbing expedition with my new wife, and fucking post it on IG so I can show my ex-wife that I'm doing real well. Meanwhile, your ex-wife is dating an NBA player, and they're also doing well too. So all in all, this you should probably move on. The point is, you go there and you're like, this is gonna be a great expedition. We're gonna go on the mountain. We're gonna have some fun. The Sherpa's gonna carry my stuff. The Sherpa's gonna carry my load, is what you'll say. Right there, carry the load, Sherpa, the way you like to carry the load in your mouth. And you say that, and they do. For a little bit of extra money, they do. But the point is that apparently the Sherpas are going there now, and they see these they see you coming in, and all they see is dollar signs walking, and they're like, you know what we're gonna do? And this is what they do. They get you there, and you're like, okay, we're starting to hike. We're going up the mountain. You're somewhere within, let's say you're like halfway through. All of a sudden, the Sherpa, the sneaky, dirty Sherpa, will come up to you and be like, hey, Mr. Johnson, are you thirsty? You should drink some of this water. It's extremely important you keep hydrated while we're climbing Mount Everest. And he'll say that in his Sherpa tongue. He'll say that in his Sherpa dialect. And you're like, man, what a great Sherpa I've bought for the time being. Who knew 20 grand would go? And you don't care about money. 20 grand to you is it's chump change. It's nothing. You're like, fuck, 20 grand? This guy's carrying my load in his mouth, on his back. I've splashed my load on his back. I've given him a load that he's carrying up his butt, and he's now thinking of me to keep me hydrated because he wants me to have a great experience. Yes, malnourished Sherpa that's 4'7", but it's got the strength of 4.5 regular average men. Yes, miniature Sherpa, I will take that drink from you to keep hydrated. Thank you for reminding me. I'm not familiar with the topography, with the altitude. Thank you. I'll take this beverage off of you. Next thing you know, you're fucking taking it down. Next thing you know, you're taking a few steps and things are starting to rumble in your tum-tum. Things are starting to the air is getting thinner. Thicker? The air is upsetting your lungs. The higher you go, the thinner There's less oxygen. So the air is thick or thin. You're going through thick and thin right now. You're starting to feel sick. You're starting, you guys go on. I'll catch up with you. And and next thing you know, their mind is seeing more dollar signs. And you're like, I don't know, I don't feel so good. And you start vomiting on top of the dead corpses beneath your feet. And you're like, maybe if I just vomit it out, you guys keep going. And they're going further and further. You're like, and it's hitting you. This isn't just like one of those things that you come up with, where your body catches a little, a little tiny cold, and you're like, oh, I think I'm gonna power through this. This isn't that. This is far worse. It's getting worse. You're starting to sweat from your asshole. You're sharding on Mount Everest. It sucks. Sharding anywhere else sucks. This is on Mount Everest. You're sharding. It's in your boots. Do you know how sucky that is to shard in your Mount Everest boots? And you're like, guys, help me. And next thing you know, little tiny malnourished 3'7" Sherpa, 4.5 foot tall Sherpa, the miniature Sherpa, fucking, comes in on his fucking pogo stick, and he's fucking hopping. He's like, what's up, boss? You not feeling well? And you're like, I'm not feeling too well, miniature Sherpa. Where's the nearest? I think I need a medical facility. Get me to a medical facility. Next thing you know, the little Sherpa grabs a little tiny cell phone, and he's got in his tiny little Sherpa hands, and he's dialing. And he's like, you sure you want to be extracted? Because there's only like 50 more hours of hiking, and we'll get to the top. And you're like, I can't, fuck, I'm bleeding from the asshole, tiny little miniature Sherpa. Get me to the medical emergency facility, please. And he's dialing, and next thing you know, a helicopter is coming in. Next thing you know, the pilots are dropping the rope, the ladder. Next thing you know, you're being extracted. You're on top of a helicopter. 6 sound effects, helicopter sound effects. You're being driven by a helicopter pilot to a local hospital where they take you in, they treat you, they fix you up, and they fucking charge the insurance. Somehow, I don't know, it's a whole scheme thing apparently they do. Again, they charge the insurance to pay for your medical bills and whatnot. Now you just had this little 20,000 expedition just turned into, let's say, $100,000 expedition, because it's extremely hard to get a extraction from a helicopter and get medical help in Mount Everest. It's a scam. So the moral of the story is that don't trust anyone. The days where you can just trust your miniature Sherpa are long behind us. It is time to know a Sherpa. Do your research. Find a reliable Sherpa. If they offer you food, beverages, maybe don't take it, or at least be like, you take a sip first, dirty Sherpa. You take a sip first, you little hunchback. Take a sip, then I'll take a sip. And if he takes a sip, then maybe stop calling him dirty Sherpa and just like pretend it never happened. And be like, you're cool, regular Sherpa, normal Sherpa, we're besties. Like if he's cooking the meals, if he's like, if he's taking your load and he's cooking the meals, and he's like, here, you should have first dibs from this barbecue, mountainside barbecue, and maybe just be like, you eat that fish, dirty Sherpa, you eat it, you nibble on that. You nibble on that salmon first, and then if he nibbles on it, then maybe you could stop calling him dirty Sherpa. But if he eats it, you're good. If he doesn't, sus Sherpa. The point of this story was to suss out your Sherpa, because you don't know these days. You don't know. Innocent days of Everest expeditions are gone, ladies and gentlemen. It's $20 million insurance fraud in Mount Everest. And this was not brought to you by... Nick Shirley was about to go there and bust these guys, but we got our own issues. Shows up to the Sherpa facility. There's no Sherpas. It's just money coming in. There's no expedition. It's just fucking... one Sherpa. No expedition. Just a stack of money. Like, where are the expeditions? Where are all the climbers? Oh, we are closed right now. Come back tomorrow. You go back there tomorrow. There's not a Sherpa shop in sight. They fucking closed it all up and they've gone away. more or less stories. Be careful out there. Kanye West, ladies and gentlemen, was apparently just banned from the UK. My thoughts on this, they cited his former bouts of former moments of alleged anti-Semitism, anti-semantics, and they said that it might lead to more violence or whatever. I don't particularly, Kanye, he's filthy rich, he's got a ton of money, I don't care that, like, personally, I don't care about, like, but the freedom of speech portion of it, like, he'll be, my point is, like, I don't, if he doesn't make money, like, starting today, if he doesn't make any money, still, him, his family, his entire, they'll be okay for many generations to come. They'll be all right. It's not about that. But as a human to human experience, did I enjoy the music when I was growing up listening to Ye? Of course. Kanye? Of course. New stuff I haven't had the chance to listen to. It doesn't matter. The point is that this is one of those situations where it's like, a fella said some stuff and now you're not letting him in. It's a little bit, it's to the UK, this is a little bit gay, if I may be frank. It's a little bit gay. It's a little bit cuck. In my opinion, of course, you should just let him come in. Let him come in, let him perform. What does he got to do? What does he got to do to, make it up to, because it's words. At the end of the day, it's words. It is a little bit of a freedom of speech issue. It is it is a little bit of and it's weird times, because you hear about stories in the UK, how they, go after and arrest people for, online hate speech or misinformation or whatever else. Thousands of people being arrested. It's or a fella saying bacon in public and gets arrested, or it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit concerning. What could Kanye do in order to? Because he hasn't done anything. He hasn't physically done it. Sure. He's he sang the song. He said some stuff. I'm not gonna for those of you who are familiar, I'm not gonna whatever. It is what it is. He said some stuff. Then he came and apologized. I believe in forgiveness, moving on and growing. Because if you don't, this could go. If you don't let him back in, this could be. It could go in a plenty of ways. It could be that he gets more radicalized, and he's like, I knew it. Look at all this. Being controlled by whatever, and then he'll go spiral down a hole. Maybe he'll turn more anti-Semitic, and I'm not even saying he is that, but allegedly that's the that word gets thrown around. It's words. To me, it's words. He's an entertainer, ups, downs, personal issues, this, that, and the other. I don't care. To be honest, just words. To me, I don't care that much. Unless, like, violence is violence. To me, violence is violence. Words aren't violence. To me, anyway. This could, he might get more radicalized, and a whole lot of people might get radicalized because of it too. I say bring him in, let him meet with if he wants to, because I've heard he wants to, meet with, Jewish leaders or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, let him. What does he got to do? What does he got to do to make it all right? Have him maybe build donate a little bit of money from the revenue of the concerts, because it does, and he's generating money not just for himself, but other people get, hired as a result of thousands of people probably, from concert, people going to concerts, getting food, getting beverages, paying all those tickets. The money just, it does trickle into the economy. So there's that. If you're not gonna be, you don't want trickle money. You don't want trickle money. God. Have him build a synagogue. Have him build a synagogue. He likes designing, he likes creating. Make a synagogue. What if he drops one song, extremely pro-Jewish song, one pro-Jewish song, or not, he doesn't have to. I'm just saying, like, what can we, it's all about growing, working together, learning. Nobody's fucking, perfect. People make mistakes, this, that, and the other, and it's not the end of the world, in my opinion. I think you should let him back. It'd be great to be like, yes, we're all in this together, learning, growing, and next thing you know, he drops one album that's just like 12 songs all about the Jewish faith. He converts to Judaism. He gets married. No, hold on. Let's fix this together. He gets married to a Jewish chick, has a bunch of Jewish babies. How about that? To counteract what some allegedly, took offense to. So let's fix it by that. Fit right there. We just did it. How does he make amends with the Jewish community, or at least parts of the community if they're offended. He marries a Jewish chick, gets her pregnant, has Jewish babies. There. And at the end of the day, jizz mixed with the female human egg creates a baby. And that baby is half Jewish. There you go. We just fixed it. Another problem, another solution from behind enemy lines. It is 4:21 in the morning. Thank you for joining me once again. It's extremely dark right now. The enemy is fucking cozy sleeping, and that's when we get in. It's 4:21 a.m. behind or somewhere close to enemy lines. Somebody wrote in, somebody contacted us, and they had a question, and thank you for your question. And again, if it impacts you out there, you're not alone. It probably impacts millions, probably billions of people, given the scope and reach of this podcast, if you can even call it that. Somebody wrote in and said, is it okay to eat food out of my girlfriend's asshole? Can I insert food in her asshole, have her shit it in my mouth, and is it okay to eat that? Thank you for sharing. You'll go by David. Thank you, David, for that thoughtful question, David. So you want to put the food in your girlfriend's asshole and have her shit it out, and then you consume that food. Is it okay? Is it cool? This is my take on it. If you want to do that, David, I would recommend maybe make sure that she's cleaned up. Again, this is just my take on it. Clean it up down there if you're gonna insert the food in her asshole and then have her shit it out in your mouth. Because if you don't, if she doesn't, like, let's say if she doesn't wash up prior to inserting the food, then you might get fecal matter on the food. And that might not be the greatest thing, but I'm not a doctor, and I'm not here to tell you like how to live your life. So you might be a messy little boy and messy little gal out there, and you want to do that, then by all means insert the food. I would you could. And what kind of food? It could be anything. I'm not even quite sure if you asked for food recommendations that you could put up your girlfriend's asshole so that she can shit it out into your mouth, but I'll go ahead and cover those bases so that we don't leave any stones unturned. I would say get a charcuterie board, right? Get a charcuterie board. Have a little bit of salami. Have a little pastrami. Have a little bit of little cut up cheese. Get a whole get a bunch of cheese. Cut it up into tiny little pieces. Put the cheese in her butt. Have her squeeze the cheese into your mouth. Drop it one by one into your mouth. Eat the cheese. Grapes would work. Grapes are actually probably one of the most butt friendly foods because they're like round. If you've ever seen a one of those dildos that's it's like a bead necklace, sort of like a pearl necklace. Sometimes they call it, if you get one of those, like it's kind of like an individual single bead, so it goes easily up the ass, and she could pop it out into your mouth and you could eat the grapes. And I get this both from a sexual stance. I get it. If that's your thing, I respect it. But also in terms of nourishment. Thousands of people throughout the day, they're so busy, they're like, I don't have time to snack. And next thing you know, your blood sugar fucking plummets. Next thing you know, you're having a stroke. Next thing you know, your family's falling apart. Next thing you know, the stock market crashes. Next thing you know, it's pandemonium, and it's nuts. So please, for the sake of maintaining your sugar levels, I suggest if you're going out there for a long barefoot hike or just a regular hike, please insert some food products up your girl's butt and have her shit it into your mouth and eat it later on. If you are new to this, I could recommend that you start maybe with liquids. Liquids, of course, are food as well, and they work just as well. You're like, I don't know what kind of liquids. Start with water. And it's hard. You go out for a run, you're like, don't want to carry a water bottle. A great place to store water is in your girl's asshole. And you just pull up to a little shrub where no one can see you. She drops her pants quickly, couple of squirts in your mouth, and you're like, oh, we can probably jog for another 35 minutes, sweetheart. Yeah, you can. And it's one of those things you could share with your entire family group, with your friends, acquaintances. After you get more comfortable, I do recommend you play around with it, have fun, because that's one of the pillars of this podcast, but also of life, etched in stone by the not just the Babylonians, but even millions of years ago. Pieces of rocks have been discovered by archaeologists, and they deciphered the etchings on that piece of stone, and it said, have fun. On this, it said that. I didn't look into it. The archaeologist did. It said the stone says have fun. That's what it does. It's the message. Millions of years ago, people were reminding us to have fun. What I recommend once you get comfortable is grab Nutella, put it in her asshole, and then have her shoot out the Nutella out of her asshole, and then eat that. Film it, send it to your family and friends, and all they're watching now is her shitting out what seems to be doo-doo, fecal matter, poop in your mouth, and you're eating it, and you're having a great time. You're like, I love this. And your family and friends are freaking out, like, holy shit, David, what the fuck, man? And that's when you can just either stick to it and be like, that's just what we do. Just stick to the bit. That's what we do. This is us. Love it or hate it. You're part of this family. To learn to live with it. Mom and dad and family and friends and everybody else and acquaintances. Send it to your boss and like, Jesus Christ, David, you're lucky your sales are extremely good, or else we'd be having a far different conversation. My God, man. He's disgusted. So you can either just be like, this is, I do this. You could, or low key tell him, don't panic, relax. It's just Nutella, and you could do it too. So you can have fun with it. Either way, thank you for that question. Is it cool? If it's cool with you, it's cool with me, David. This is, I guess it's corresponding to this prior story that we just covered, but somebody else wrote in and they said, do you have any tips for me? I've got an itchy asshole. Do you have any tips? And this is, a lot of times, these are the topics that don't get discussed. Many people like to just, do hit and runs, do fucking flybys. They don't take the time to focus on the important things, unpack the issues that are touching everybody's lives, that are telling the tales of the lived human experience. To have an itchy asshole and not have a resolution for it it makes me say, my goodness, are we focused on the wrong things? Are we perhaps looking at the keys over here going jingle jangle, jingle jangle, keys over here, and missing the whole thing over here? And that could be another pair of keys also going jingle jangle, jingle jangle, and this pair of key right here is just as good as this pair of keys right here is jingle jangle, right? But you focus on this jingle jangle and not the other jingle jangle. Do I have a remedy for your itchy asshole? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I would recommend try to scratch it yourself. Wait till your nails grow long. You want your fingernails to grow long. Talking 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch, and really get in there. And this might take you some time. You're like, oh, I want a fast relief. This isn't one of these podcasts that comes here and tells you there's going to be an easy answer, a pill, or a ring you could wear, or a face tracker you could install, or a heartbeat pervert that you could hire to watch your heartbeat and report it back to your some chloroform sleep, doctor that'll, just fucking gas you up and make you fall asleep at night. And this isn't that. We're not about the quick answers. We're about the long-term fix. So you gotta wait. Yeah, it might be itchy today, friend, but if you scratch it with a nail that's not long enough, it's not gonna be satisfying. You're not gonna scratch that itch. you're touching it on a surface level. You want that, again, 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch long fingernail. And really get in there and scrape, 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 scratch, scratch, scratch. And see if that is a remedy. If that doesn't work, blow on it. Always just, and it's sometimes you're like, oh man, I don't want to scratch my skin because it's sensitive. Blow on it. Just low-key bend your neck down, lift your asshole up to your face, and blow on it. Sometimes it's just the temperatures out there are getting warmer. We're going into spring, summer season. It might be itchy down there, so blowing on it will actually assist you and rid you of your discomfort. That's what it will do. If you can't physically blow on your asshole yourself, I recommend hiring someone. Get a Chinese woman. Get an old, elderly Chinese woman to blow on. It could be any. For me, because it could be anybody. It could be a Swedish woman. It could be. I don't care. I'm giving you an example. You're like, I don't have an elderly Chinese woman in my life to blow on my itchy asshole. Well, then, find an Eskimo woman wherever you are. If you're in Alaska, find an Alaskan woman who will blow on your dirty, itchy asshole. All right? It's not my job to tell you what kind of woman you're gonna have to find out there to blow on your itchy asshole, friend. This is, again, focusing on the jingle jangle, missing the entire solution that I'm giving you. If that doesn't work, go to a pub. Pub games. One of my favorites is darts. Stand where the dartboard is and ask the players, players out there, the fellas, to throw the darts at your asshole. And ask them not to hit your asshole, but simply graze the asshole. And that's just like a quick little scratching of the, just you want to lift your butt, open up, have a dart thrown at your asshole, and just graze and just scratch that itch. And these are just, if you have any pets, you're like, I'm calcium deficient, I can't grow my nails, I'm a recluse because of it, Rob. I don't have nails because of my calcium deficiency. If you've got a pet cat at home, train your pet cat to swipe, claw at your asshole that's been keeping you up at night, and that will probably give you some remedy. And these are just some examples that I've thought of. Thank you for that. If there's anybody out there if you have any, suggestions, please. We are a community after all, from one family member to the whole kinship. Let us not be greedy with our resources, our time, with our energy. Let us spend it on each other instead of hoarding it. Let's do that. And that's just my philosophy on it. But I hope that helps. So thank you for that. I never got the whole we've been giving you the kid glove treatment for the time being, and now you're gonna get the, and they never even named the alternative. It's just like, you've been getting the kid glove treatment, now wait till you get the adult glove treatment, son. You hear that? And I just have an issue with it, because like this, I think we got it. Now, I might be a little bit dyslexic. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Time and again, I catch myself reading things or like hearing things. I'm like, oh, I thought this was. It doesn't matter. The point is, I think this one is legit. Because going from, if you're giving somebody the kid glove treatment, and you're like, this is the kid glove treatment, and emphasizing that I guess it's bad, but then it will go to worse by going to an adult glove treatment, which is supposed to be worse than the kid, because apparently kid glove treatment is good, or at least if it's bad, and you're like, this is bad. Wait till you see the adult glove treatment. I think we got to revert. We got to flip that. You should go from, you've been getting the phrase and the practice should be, you've been getting the adult glove treatment, and that you think that's bad. Wait till we give you the kid glove treatment, because that'll be way worse. That'd be way worse. In my opinion, at least, this is the way I think about it. Because like, the average, adult, if they were wearing regular size adult gloves, and then they did something, and then you're like, you've been wearing these adult gloves, you've been getting the adult glove treatment. Wait till you have to resort to wearing the kid gloves as a form of treatment. Next thing you know, they come in and remove his or her adult-sized gloves off their hands, and they give them a little tiny baby glove, a little tiny bit, and they're like, deal with these baby gloves. This is called a baby glove or the kid glove treatment. And then watch that full-grown, able-bodied adult try to squeeze his or her large-sized, adult-sized hands into this tiny, tiny little glove that is just, and you'll see them in agony and pain, their brain will just fucking melt because they can't comprehend how they're supposed to fit their giant adult-sized hands into this baby glove, thus making the baby glove or the kid glove treatment far worse than adult glove treatments. Because if they already have the small size kid glove, and you're like, yeah, you've been getting a kid glove treatment, you think that's bad, wait till you get the adult glove treatment, you son of a bitch, and you remove the kid gloves, which we were having a difficult time with, but then you give them adult sized gloves, and it fits like a glove, because that's what it's supposed to do. So you're like, oh, how does it feel to have a glove that fits your hand? You like that better now? I think it should be reversed. I think we should give people the adult gloves first, unless this phrase is specifically aimed at children who do have smaller hands. You've been getting the kid glove treatment in that sense. Now deal with these loose adult-sized gloves, you tiny human, and that'll be far worse. They'll have to wait till they grow into it eventually, if they'll even live that long. Or if it makes sense if we're again dealing with midgets. Here, you've been dealt with kid gloves, you dirty little midget. Try some regular sized adult gloves now. And it sucks for them because they got tiny hands and a large, normal sized adult gloves. So I'm just saying, when it comes to sayings, phrases, practices, again, I think this time that we fucking pull the plug or at least switch it around. It's just my personal opinion. Unless people are not happy with adult gloves, in which case I guess I was unaware. They say a gentleman always does one thing to show a lady that he cares, and that is to hold her hair back when she's throwing up. Hold her hair back. A gentleman always holds her hair back. And that might be true, but they don't tell you the full story. I'm here to break it to you. They never tell you which hair to pull back or hold back while she's throwing up. Apparently, I did my own research. I spent $3.7 million on this because I want to tell them, which hair though? Which part of the, you could assume that it's the hair on the head. You could assume, a lot of people do that. They blindly follow the herd, hold her hair back, and they think, yeah, head, hair, hold her hair back. That makes sense. It's not. Apparently, ladies are okay with that. They like that. But what they really love, if they're throwing up, the phrase goes, hold their hair back. It's talking about their pubic hair. It's definitely talking about, again, $3.7 million of money well spent. Research, countless hours of, trial and error, tests, paying off officials, buying local police officers to fucking look the other way, because I'm not going to go into the details because I don't want to implicate myself and the company here, but we got the answers we were looking for. It turns out it's pubic hair. When she's throwing up, you unzip her pants, and she's like, she might be initially like, what are you doing? This is not the, and she's throwing up simultaneously. I'll take care of this. All right. Take off her pants. She's like, what are you doing? I'm throwing up. Pull back or hold back my hair. And you're like, oh, wait, this gets really good. Remove her panties if she's wearing any. And then lift using one of your hands, cup her bush, and lift that hair and watch her start vomiting with pleasure and ease. And after it's all done and over with, she'll come and wipe her mouth with vomit, and she'll thank you, and she'll say, I love you. I love you so much. I've had a lot of men that just simply hold my hair that's on my head. No one's gone as far as you just have to hold back my pubic hair, which is, that's the most fragile, most exposed, and it's not even talked about. That's a neglected part of hair on my body, and our body as the female species, that's just not concentrated on. Everybody assumes, yeah, go to the head. Hold their pubic hair up in your head while she's throwing up. And if you want to lock it in, fellas, if you want to lock in a relationship next time your lady is fucking, you know, torso deep in a toilet bowl, remove her pants and like cup her pubic hair. And I'm telling you, fellas, she's gonna go to her best friends and start fucking chirp, 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 fucking quacking, and, you know, just fucking, you know what hens do, fucking, fucking Johnny's the best. You know what he did, ladies? He held my pubic hair back while I was throwing up. Next thing you know, the 3 other bitches are going home angry at their man. You know, Stacy's man holds her pubic hair when she's throwing up. Don't be like those guys. Be like Johnny. And again, you're welcome. That came out of my own pocket, but again, I'm not here for the fucking medals or the plaque on the wall or the library or the statue or the ribbon cutting ceremonies. About ribbon cutting, it's a ceremony because a lot of time ribbon cutting ceremonies are to, you know, they're like, oh, it's a public library opening up, oh, it's a new building, it's a new health facility that let's cut the ribbon. How about a ribbon cutting ceremony that's celebrating ribbon cutting ceremonies? There's a ribbon cutting happening behind or in front of another ribbon cutting ceremony. Let's celebrate the real causes that make this world go round. So what I'm trying to tell you is that look a little bit further than just what's on the surface. Hold her hair back. Yeah, which hair, fella? Which hair? A lot of people are like, man, I don't know what it is, but I want to do something that's close to a book club, but like not all the way similar to a book club, like a little bit similar to the book club, but not like, I don't want to commit to reading. What can I do, Rob? Somebody asked that, and it just touched me in an emotional way, in a way, because I thought to myself, I'm like, man, I get it. You know, who wants to, you know, adult males or females want to join or create a book club? I get it. There's nothing wrong with it, but you want to do something a little bit different. This is what you do. You get your friends and family, whoever you want in your group, call them over. Instead of having a book club, have a porn club. It's very similar to the book club, but it's different in a sense that there's no books and the entire group gets together to discuss and practice porn. You can talk about your favorite porns. You can create, I would recommend start, you know, go around, take the time. What kind of porn are you into? When do you watch it? How often do you watch it? What genre are you into? Get to know each other, learn each other's styles and tastes, eventually start making your own pornos, do a little, you know, group film together, have little assignments each and every week. Be like, you got to go and like record yourself either masturbating and or having sex with your lover. Bring that back to the porn group, sit in a circle, share it with one another, and you'll notice this will bring your bond closer. This will allow people to talk more openly about their love of porn. And it's just one of those fun little activities that you could have with family and friends. So if you're like, man, I don't know, I don't think book club is for me. I get it. Book clubs aren't for me either. You can do fucking porn clubs. So you're welcome out there for this free tip. And again, do it with strangers, family members, friends. coworkers, bosses, or employees that are under you. And that's actually the perfect position to start with employees that are under you, because it's easier. You're the boss. You can do whatever. Tell them to come over. It's fucking porn club day. Fridays are porn club days. Make a day. It could be any day. It doesn't have to be Fridays. I'm just saying. Now, we have touched on many topics, and I want to get serious for a second. There are today, as of today, right now, when you're watching this, when you're observing, when you're taking in this podcast and sharing it with your family and friends, there's a shortage, ladies and gentlemen. There's a shortage of, and it breaks my heart, because I look around and I see that we have plenty to go around, but there's a shortage. I'll just say there's a shortage of glory holes, and it just doesn't sit well with me. I could keep my silence. I could just pretend like it's not happening, go about my day, and think that, somebody else will come in, and I'm sure somebody else will talk about it. I'm sure somebody else will get this ball rolling. It's 2026. It's 2026. Do you know how many glory holes are in your neighborhood? Probably not that many. Do you know that most glory holes are apparently just made for fellas to suck each other off, apparently? That's what I hear, at least. I say it's 2026, we're going to the moon, our astronauts are edging. It's time we make a change. Moving forward, please get with your local councilmen and women. This is a grassroots effort. Start on the ground, start at the bottom. We will build together, one step at a time. I suggest we install more glory holes on. Let's just. This is my understanding. If there's a door, it needs to be equipped with a glory hole. I'm talking residential buildings. I'm talking buildings that are for businesses, commercial buildings, offices. I'm talking bathrooms. I'm talking emergency doors. I'm talking car doors. I'm talking elevator doors. And once we get the doors, I'm hoping to make the glory holes available on all walls. If there is a wall and there isn't a glory hole installed, a safe glory hole installed for heterosexual men and women to finger fuck and or yerk each other or suck each other or tongue each other out through that wall, through that hole. I don't know what it's going to take, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how long this will take, but for every man or woman out there who is dealing with this in silence, I want to let you know that you're not alone. Sure, the odds are against us right now. The odds are not, it's like, it's one glory hole per 100,000 people. And that's abysmal. That's disgusting. And we will change that. And you're like, Rob, I don't know, man. This is the numbers. If we were a numbers fella, if we were a numbers lady, if we were about numbers, humanity is against numbers. No, wait. Let me rephrase that. Humanity never cared for number. No, wait, we do. Hold on. Humanity doesn't care about math. No, wait. Geometry. Sacred geometry. No, wait. Forget this. This is what humanity doesn't move forward fucking statistically. This was supposed to. If we were supposed to go places based on statistics, then guess what? We would have never traveled to places and got ourselves some spices. We would have never traveled to other places in search of spices and then accidentally discovered a whole new continent, allegedly. And then we would have never, you know, he fucking went to the pyramids in Giza and started like dust it off and like discovered the pyramids under a whole bunch of sand. The point is that don't let statistics get in your way, all right? When all this is said and done, what do I hope to accomplish? For every member of society to know that there is a glory hole out there somewhere. Doesn't have to be extremely close by, but somewhere. That's safe, that's easily available, and that doesn't cost much. And that, my friends, is something we can all look forward to. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, peace out. Get out of here.